You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps, and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello and welcome to another episode of Unstoppable Actors. I am so unbelievably excited to talk to you today about how you can stop worrying after you have landed your very first agent. If you already have an agent or you're on like your third, fourth or fifth agent, there's going to be some things in here for you as well, so stay locked in. This episode has been inspired by one of my acting students, Sarah, who shared last night in class that she's starting 2026 with her first ever agent, and I couldn't have been more excited for her. But she did share that the nerves and the wobbles and the worries were starting to kick in a little bit, even though she was super duper excited. And I want to unpack all of that in today's episode because it's normal. I remember signing with my first agent and I was over the moon and I was like, yes, this means I'm a proper actor now. And I was just imagining all these incredible auditions that I'd be going for. And then, of course, I got a big dose of nerves as well. So it's totally normal. We all feel it from time to time. And there are things that we can do to release those nerves and step into our power as an actor. Before we dive into all of that goodness, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who is rating the podcast and who is leaving comments and feedback. It's so exciting to read. I am loving how much you are loving the episodes. So if you haven't already, please do rate the podcast after you've listened to this episode. Leave a comment if you want to as well. I could be reading yours out on the next episode and we'll be super excited to read your comments. I always love them. And I also want to say a big thank you to everybody who is getting in touch about the magnetic actor activation audio that you're downloading. Oh my gosh, the emails and the DMs on Insta are incredible. So many actors are like, how is this only £5? It's totally changed who I am as an actor. And the main thing that's coming through that I'm hearing from actors is that they feel like they've got a new lease of life in their belief in themselves, in their craft and how they're showing up for their acting career just from this 15-minute audio. And I am like, wow. So I knew what I wanted to achieve when I was creating it for you all, and then to hear the impact it's having is absolutely incredible. And if you want to grab that audio, you can go to bit.ly/magnetic actor. I have also left the link underneath in the description as well. If you know you need that new lease of life, if you know that sometimes your motivation wanes and dips, like 1 minute it's here and then the next minute it's not, and sometimes the self-doubt creeps in or you start to get in a pickle or a bit overwhelmed with your craft, I highly recommend you get that. It will make everything super clear for you. You will have a new lease of life with your acting career and performances like all these other actors are sharing. And if you are ready to take your craft further and you would like me to coach you hands-on and get my feedback and work with some incredible method acting exercises that will help you make your next performance your best performance yet and you become a more sellable actor, then you can check out the 10-week method acting program. It starts on Wednesday the 28th of January. There are 2 days left to apply for a place. This has got so many actors' careers off the starting blocks and into incredible productions. You hear it on the intro all the time, like Netflix, TV soaps, even Hollywood. I don't think that's actually on the intro. this can happen for you as well. So the link for that is bit.ly/the standby method, or you can go into the episode description and click it there and go and check it out. So last night in class, as I've already shared, one of my students, Sarah, shared that she has just signed with her first agent. And as I've already shared with you, she said it hadn't sunk in. She's super, super excited. And the worries are kicking in. And you might have been there yourself if you've signed with your first agent, or even a new agent. It doesn't just have to be your first one. By the way, if you've not got an agent yet, this is going to be such good preparation for you. So don't feel like this episode's not for you, because it absolutely is. But you might have been there. We can get all sorts of doubts and worries and mind monkeys playing havoc in our brains. Usually it goes along the lines of this: am I prepared enough? Am I talented enough? What if I don't turn auditions into castings? Am I going to get removed from the books at some point? Have I got everything that I need? Is my show reel good enough? What about my CV? Is my talent good enough? We can drive ourselves crazy, absolutely crazy. And this, my friends, is known as imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome does kick in when we get to new levels in our acting career. And imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern where you doubt your abilities despite the evidence of success. It is the opposite of self-trust. And so even though Sarah has got evidence to say she is marketable, sellable, castable, talented, proactive, because she's got this agent, she searched it out herself, still the worries and the imposter syndrome are kicking in. As I've already said, this is normal, but what we want to do is nip it in the bud. We do not want this imposter syndrome taking over, because it will sabotage your acting career, it will sabotage your performances, and you will find yourself stuck exactly where you are right now in your career if you let the imposter syndrome take over, and it affects lots and lots of people. I myself have experienced it many times. It disappears and then it comes back, and it disappears and then it comes back. I recently have gone through imposter syndrome again, and I'm like, oh my good Lord. But it doesn't have the same hold over me as it used to when I first experienced it, because I understand it logically and I know what I need to do to replace it. And what we have to do is replace it with self-trust, because the opposite of doubting yourself and imposter syndrome is self-trust. So self-trust is backing yourself, even when you are not a polished performer just yet. Self-trust is knowing you are ready where you are right now. Self-trust is believing that you are capable of developing, even when your mind is screaming at you that it's hard and you can't do it. Now, Sarah does have a certain level of self-trust, because if she didn't, she wouldn't have been proactive, sought out an agent and landed one. She does also have self-trust in herself in other ways as well, because she's been showing up to the classes regularly. She dives into all of the method acting exercises. She listens to the feedback, she implements it, and she learns what her weak spots are in her performances. And rather than letting them get her down, she learns which specific method acting exercises she needs to overcome them, and which will replace these weak spots and help her get to more masterful performances. So she does have a certain level of self-trust to be doing all of that, and yet the wobble has kicked in. And it's normal. And do you know why it's normal? It's because your nervous system craves familiarity, even if the familiar is holding you back. So when something new happens, like signing with your first agent, or maybe signing with a massive agent who's got household named actors on, at some point you're going to get to that level in your career. What happens when, with the wobble kicking into your nervous system, your body can trigger a fight or flight response. And that leads to anxiety, overthinking, second guessing. And all it is your brain protecting you from itself. Sounds crazy, right? But the brain and the nervous system like familiarity. They get a little bit overwhelmed with things that are new. So this is why the imposter syndrome kicks in. And then this is why many actors, wherever they are in their journey, can start self-sabotaging. This is really important to talk about because I don't believe enough drama schools and acting studios are talking about the nervous system. And essentially, it's down to whether you can keep your nervous system in check and regulated as to whether you are actually going to achieve the success that you imagine for yourself. So let's bring this back to you and your day-to-day life, or maybe even your acting. Just think about when you've hesitated to try something new because it's felt uncomfortable, even though you knew it would help you grow. So if you can name one of those moments or think of something now, because I bet you have got a story, then you will understand imposter syndrome on a more visceral level. I'll take it away from acting to when I very first started my driving lessons when I think I was like 18 or 19. And I was learning to drive in Manchester, which is a very, very busy city. And I was learning to drive with a driving instructor who wasn't the most calmest person. She definitely got triggered easily by other drivers on the road and was a bit aggy. And that wasn't a good combination. That didn't really align with the driving instructor that I needed because I was already really bloody nervous and was already having these doubts and thoughts in my mind that I can't do this. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to be too overwhelming. I'm going to end up crashing. I was just telling myself all sorts of stories that I'd end up running someone over. And then what happened is I had a few lessons and they were really, really bad. Not because I wasn't capable of driving, because I was being given things to do that I wasn't ready for yet, and that combination of her being aggy and easily triggered and me doubting myself, it just didn't work. So I self-sabotaged, and then eventually I just stopped the driving lessons until years later. But this is why self-trust matters. Self-trust matters because it overrides those automatic doubts that your brain will fire out. Now, if I'd have trusted myself in those early days of taking driving lessons, I would have just switched driving instructors. That's all I would have done. She wasn't right for me, so I would have just gone to another one and continued. But I didn't. I allowed the self-doubts to take over, so I didn't trust myself. The same thing happens in acting. Whatever stage you are at, those automatic negative thoughts kick in, and then you'll find yourself going round and round in circles, not getting very far. So let's bring it back to acting, because there are ways that we can develop our self-trust. Your craft comes into this, and it's where training in method acting is super, super important. It is no coincidence that the actors at the top of their game, the majority of them are method actors. So in method acting, you will train in exercises like the method's chair relaxation, sense memory, rampaging, tell me who you are, animal exercise, gibberish, personalisation, and way more. These exercises sound overwhelming, but they're very easy to pick up. And they are also a lot of fun. But they're not just fun. They are training your nervous system to have that self-trust. They're training your imagination. They're training your emotional presence and connection to a professional standard. And so what they do is they give you the tools to stay connected to your character, even when your inner critic is showing up in your brain and is wreaking havoc and telling you all sorts of silly stories that there's no evidence for. So method acting exercises like the ones I've named above are helping you, or will help you, develop that self-trust so you don't self-sabotage. They give you confidence in yourself because they develop your talent, making you a much better actor. And with that, when you start getting that validation and that feedback, even though really we shouldn't be looking for external validation, but sometimes we do need it, right? So when we start getting that external validation that, wow, that scene gave me goosebumps, or poof, that was gold, where did that come from? When you start hearing things like that, it builds your confidence because you've used the correct techniques and exercises. Now, what Sarah has also done, and, you know, she really does have some level of self-trust in her, because she's followed the business of acting lessons that I've provided for her in our classes as well. So they've helped her do things like refine her cover letters, so she actually feels confident sending the cover letter out in the first place to this agent and to casting directors. So she does trust herself, because if she didn't, she wouldn't have landed the agent. So to build that same self-trust, what you have to do is you have to make small daily promises to yourself with your acting, and you have to keep them. No breaking the promises to yourself. You've got to make a little pinky promise every single day of something you are going to do with your acting. When you pair that with method acting exercises, you'll start seeing your performances click in ways that, as I've already said, gives you that external validation, which then means you've got the confidence, and then casting directors and agents start believing in you. And then we're stuck in a cycle of belief, of self-trust. And then that spiral starts allowing these opportunities to manifest in your acting career. And it's so exciting. Now, I'm very big on mindset as well. So when you do sign with your first agent or your next agent, you need to release expectations, because high expectations lead to anxiety. So instead of having these high expectations, either on yourself or the agent, tell yourself this: I'll accept this experience as is. I'll take the lessons and grow. When you do that, you surrender, you relax. And there is nothing ever to lose. There's only lessons to gain, whether it works out with the agent or not, whether you get incredible auditions or none. That's how you start stepping into a new level in your acting career without letting the nerves and the imposter syndrome sabotage it. If you want a quick, powerful tool to stop the spiral of nerves and the self-doubt and the self-sabotage, then go and grab the Magnetic Actor Activation audio. You can get it from bit.ly/magnetic actor. That's a link for it, or just go into the episode description. It's 15 minutes that will completely reset your acting mindset, your belief in yourself, and your connection to your craft. If you're ready to dig deeper and develop even more self-trust through method acting in a practical way, and you want to get my feedback on your performances, and you want me to develop your talent, you can apply for the 10-week method acting program. It's online, so you can be from anywhere in the world to train on it. It starts Wednesday the 20th of January, and we only have small classes, so every single actor gets the individual attention that they need. We've only got a few places available, so you can go and check that out at bit.ly/the standby method. And I want to leave you with one last thing. Remember, staying present, connected, and calm is how you make your first agent proud, and yourself too. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.